So where are we going? You've botched the opening. I've jumped in and slandered
Yeah.
you and the audience as well, and now it's your program. I'm getting sick and fed up with one thing though. I'll tell you this at the top of the program. I still get the comments on the Twitter. Can't call it X because you still go to twitter.com. And after all, X is a stupid name anyway. But I get comments on, well, Cornette, yeah, he's scared to leave his house still because of the COVID. I'm not scared to leave the house because of COVID anymore. I've just now discovered over the last several years how much I enjoy not leaving the house. Because, Brian, guess what I did yesterday?
Did you leave the house?
I left the house.
Oh, where'd you go?
Well, I got Stace that new car this past summer, as you may recall when last we left our space travelers. They had a new car. Well, of course, I've still got Black Beauty, which is a 2007, so it doesn't have all the computerized bullshit on it that they got with the cars these days. The young whippersnapper automobiles these days that are delinquents. And her car talks to you and talks to the goddamn NORAD space satellites, and there's cameras everywhere, and there's goddamn beeping. It'll drive itself. It turns itself on and off when it decides it needs to. Scares the shit out of me to ride in it. So that's why I usually stick to Black Beauty, which I can turn the one voice off that talks to me because I don't need it. I know where I'm going. But
So that other voice you can't turn off. That's the problem.
Well, there's several voices inside my head that I can't turn off, but the one in my car I can. But as a result of being a computerized monstrosity from space, her new car had 2 recalls on it from to reset the software for the. It detects if you're going to be in a collision, despite whether you might not be really going to be in a collision, and it'll fucking start driving on its own and shit. And that was malfunctioning. And there was some other software goddamn. It may burst into flame. I don't know what the fucking deal was, right? So we're going to take it back to the dealer, point being. And we got the car at this, medium-sized dealership, but out in the country over here. We didn't go downtown. We didn't go to the busy parts of town. We went out in Oldham County. It's right about a mile on the other side of Pee Wee Valley. And it's only about 10 miles from the house here, but it's a 2-lane road because you're going back through the nice, East End estates with the big yards and the farm fences, and you cross the railroad tracks, and it's a scenic drive out there through Edgewood, Eastwood, Pee Wee Valley, whatever the fuck. And finally, we finally get a chance we make an appointment about 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time, make sure they know we're coming, they got all the shit they need to do, blah, blah, blah. And so yesterday morning, we get up 18 goddamn degrees, by the way, when I got up to walk Harley yesterday morning here in Louisville. And we drive over there just fine and drop the car off. We're going to pick it up today, which we already have. But that's the first time I've driven down that road, Brian, in about 6 months. So can you imagine what happened?
What happened? You got a flat tire.
No. There was a goddamn chaotic accident on I-71 South, which closed the interstate and rerouted all the goddamn traffic coming from Cincinnati off the interstate and onto this beautiful scenic country road going the same direction I was trying to go in to come home. And suddenly, this little winding country road and this scenic drive didn't look so fucking scenic when there was 27 fucking tractor trailer trucks in front of me. It took me a goddamn hour to get home from driving 10 miles to drop this fucking car off, just to go back there and pick it up the next day. So the point is, anybody gets mad at me for not leaving the house, over the last 4 years, besides the fact that my health has never been better, my weight has never been better, and my sleep has never been better, I don't have to deal with the aggravation of every jackleg and nitwit that I run across, or every goddamn traffic schmoz and chaotic incident that you have to deal with when you're a person that goes out into public circle on a regular basis. If nominated, I will not run, and if elected, I will not serve. I'm staying in the House from now on.
All right.
But it's your program, so we can do whatever you want.
How would Jim Cornette in his early 20s, if you had broken into wrestling today, how do you think he would have dealt with being on the road, or the limited times that anyone's actually on the road, but driving in the nation today versus the nation 40 years ago?
Oh, no, you couldn't do it. In all seriousness, the schedule that Crockett Promotions kept on not only anything that where we drove when we all lived in Charlotte and we drove the Carolinas and Virginia towns, but also the schedules that we made flying commercially, especially, maybe not even with his private plane anymore, but the commercial flights that we took for TBS, for Crockett, you know, when he bought commercial tickets, and even in the mid 90s, some of the schedules that we kept in the WWF, you couldn't do it today. And I'm not talking about, oh, you know, the kids these days. No, you couldn't physically. It takes so much longer to get from one place to. I've been to Charlotte in the last several years, and the traffic. We would leave to go to fucking Raleigh on a Wednesday after we did promos at Crockett's office. So we're leaving from, if anybody knows Charlotte geography, I-77 and Woodlawn Road. We're leaving from that area at 4:30 on a Wednesday, and we are at Dorton Arena in Raleigh by 7:30. And that's 175 miles and rush hour through North Charlotte. You couldn't physically do it. And much less, you know, some of the other trips. And I told you one time, J.J. Dillon and I were on the same plane. We did a Greensboro, North Carolina show at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, flew out of Greensboro through Chicago to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and got to the building in time to do the double main event that night. You couldn't get through fucking security now. So those schedules couldn't physically be done humanly at this point, with the difference now in the time of travel, both traffic on the interstate and getting through an airport. And there was almost no fucking security, for fuck's sake. You know, to begin, you went through a metal detector and that was it. And I don't know if they looked.
All right. Well, a plane is going by overhead. So someone's looking in on us.
It's surveillance again on you? I thought it was the week they were supposed to watch me.